All right, man, but that's going to break it down for the news. And we are moving on to a major, major event that is going on tonight, my man. I am so excited for this one.
It's time for Fight Night from the stands.
Oh, yeah, man, this is going to be so much fun. And if you can see it up here right now, we're talking about the last dance, man. We got Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. This fight is going to be such a blast. I cannot wait for this one. I've been waiting on this one since it's been announced a couple months ago. This is going to be Dustin Diamond's last fight, man. And what a hell of a career he's had. This is actually the third time they fought. Poirier's won both matches. This was actually the fourth person that Poirier ever fought, and it was Holloway's first, man. So a lot has changed, obviously, since that point. They've have both had some legendary careers. Man, I'm so glad that this one is going to be Dustin's last fight because he handpicked him to fight him. He knows what kind of warrior Holloway is. I don't see this one going to the ground one bit. All I see is a bunch of fists going in the air. Mr. BC, man, are you excited about this fight or what?
I am. I'm always a big fan of trilogy fights. So this one right here, again, the history that these two have. Dustin obviously winning both of the previous matchups, and Holloway trying to go for that elusive win finally. It's kind of like been his boogeyman, so to say. The Baba Yaga in this case. Yeah. So I think this has all the makings of one of those classic UFC fights. I love the story going into it. Max as well, known just for being an absolute tank and Iron Man, just able to take any and all damage. So I love it. I think that this sets the stage. This is going to be a great fight. Like you were mentioning, I don't see much ground game, much technicality. This is going to be two gunslingers going out on their feet. First man to drop is going to be the one, I think, to, like this is it. Like whoever flinches, whoever gets the first KO shot, I think it's done. We'll say predictions, I guess, maybe for the end of the segment. Are we doing that? Or are we going to go just up and early?
You're fine, man. You're fine. What if you want to go ahead and do it, Ken?
I think typically, maybe I'm adding a little bit too much of a pro wrestling into this one, but just, WWE, WWE and UFC are all owned by the same company now. So, there's a little bit of influence in there, but I think this is the fight where Max is finally able to get the first win over Dustin. I think that Dustin goes out on his shield, on his back, and I think that Max finally, like I said, he finally gets that win. This is his last opportunity to do so, and I think Max just continues to add to his legacy among the UFC greats. And not to take away from Dustin, obviously, 30-9 record in MMA, legend of the sport, but I think that this is the one where he finally goes, this is the one where he finally gets that double-digit loss right there, and I just see Max just continuing to build on one of the greatest legacies of all time in the lightweight division.
I agree with you on the aspect of that. I think Max is in a better place than he ever was in those situations when they fought prior to this point. I was kind of leaning towards Max as well, just because he's been on, a real good streak lately. He had that huge knockout against Gaethje. But I think the writing is on the wall, man. You're in Louisiana. Lil Wayne's gonna be walking out. Dustin Poirier for the entrance to the fight. It's his hometown. It's his last fight. I foresee this at some point in time. They're going to be pointing at that UFC logo in the middle of the ring and just swinging for the fences. I kind of predict the same kind of aspect of what happened in that BMF fight with Gaethje and Holloway, where he landed that amazing knockout. I just feel like that is going to be Poirier on the other end doing it to Holloway this time. I know it's extremely difficult to knock out Holloway, but I can't go against my guy Dustin Diamond tonight. I think it's going to be a hell of a fun fight, man. It's a really good card, though, by the way, as well. I think there's going to be a lot of intense, fun fighting on this card, man. Pitbull's fighting on it. Ing is fighting on it. I think it's going to be an awesome fight, but I can't shy away from going Dustin Poirier in Louisiana, representing his hometown, man.
But see, that's where I kind of will disagree and say, but I think this is where it's one of those where I do agree with you. I think that this ends with a slugfest on the feet, like in that, like one of the championship rounds. They just go at it. And then I think Holloway lands the finishing blow. I think Poirier goes down. And, it's in front of his home crowd. But, again, just pro wrestling gimmick or dynamic. A lot of times you lose in front of your hometown. But you lose, you go on your back, but you get that hometown cheer at the end. I think Holloway does the right thing. I think, he gets the belt. But then I think, honors Poirier at the end in front of his hometown crowd. I think that they kind of give Poirier that last big hurrah on this night. I don't think he goes out as champion, but I think that he goes out as the people's champion, so to say. And like you said, the card's stacked, especially, the other two big matchups on the main card. You got Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. I got Holland winning that matchup, and then Paulo Costa and Roman Kapilov. I've got Paula winning that one. So I think that
Okay.
these are going to be. I think it's not. I think this has all the makings for being one of the better UFC cards in the last few years for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree too. It's a bunch of just legitimately good fights. I don't think it has like the namesake is obviously the main event. I think it's just one of those cards that has a lot of potential to be electric. I'm excited for that Pitbull fight too. That guy's an animal in the ring. Just all around every card, every fight on there is something that something to see, different dynamics to it. But just so we're making everything clear here, you're going Holloway, I'm going Poirier, and that is going to close it out for that fight. Huh? You think it's fists in the air, and it's going to be new BMF title holder or continue to hold the belt?
Well, no, because Max holds it right now, right? Max holds the BMF. Yeah, I've got Max holding the belt. No, I was gonna say I was gonna say I've got him taking it through and through, and I just think that Poirier, as great of a fighter as he is, as great as the storyline would be, winning the title on your home floor. I've got Max doing it, but I think I've got Poirier kind of getting that last cheer from the crowd, the last nod, kind of his last chance to kind of like bow out, going out like a warrior on his back, on his shield. I don't think there's any. Aside from him winning the belt, I don't think there's any better ending to a storied career for a warrior like him.
One last thing on the BMF thing. Do you like the BMF idea? Do you like the title, the whole thing? Do you think it's kind of cool or kind of gimmicky?
It adds, I guess, something sort of to fights, but I do just think it's too gimmicky in a sense. I guess I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to like my title belts or no, like my title belt, like my championships in combat sports, and again, it's just it's one of those things where I get it what it's supposed to be like. This is supposed to be the toughest dude in the sport. He's supposed to be the greatest and stuff like that, but I don't know.
It's
It's
just
I
not for
think
you.
no, it's just not. I think it's too. I think it is leaning too much into WWE. Everyone's like, oh well, they're not the same. It's fake. Blah blah blah. And it's like, well, you're kind of taking leaks from them. Like hardcore champion. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's a little too gimmicky for me. But again, who am I to judge? It's going to be, I think, a great fight, and it does add a little je ne sais quoi to the fight.
No, I agree. I do like the BMF thing. I think it's kind of cool. I had a few different ideas with how they can do it in different ways, which we can get into another time.
They need to
But
change the title design for sure. I
what's
think.
that?
If this is supposed to be the BMF title, they definitely need to change the design of the belt for sure. Make it look, I guess, a little bit more like rough and tough. Add a little bit more grit to it. It just looks too pristine for
So
my
you want more
liking.
of a badass look to it?
Yeah, it's literally in the name. So it's like it should look like
Yeah.
the Travis Scott title belt a little bit, or the hardcore title belt. Like in WWE, like give it that look. Like it's already a gimmick belt. Why not just in name? Why not just make it a gimmick belt in appearance too? Just let it match.
Let's shoot some fireworks off of it. Let's get all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff going. Why the hell not, man?
Yeah.